Okay, yeah. Hi, everybody. If you're out there listening, this is kind of a crazy episode. My name is Eric with the Unlockables podcast. I have gone and dug Keith from formerly of the MainQuest podcast out of retirement for an interesting episode because we've been talking a lot about, just in our chats, a lot about just all of the in general kind of bad news that's been going on across the video game industry. And current events isn't really something that Keith or I are really actually known for. We maybe like once a year we'll do episodes on like talking about current events, but it's mostly stuff that we kind of leave to other people because other people in our circles do a great job of kind of covering that stuff, and it's not really stuff that we cover because we mostly just yell about it. But anyways, hey Keith, how's it going? Are you enjoying retirement from podcasting, or are you happy to be that I dragged you back out of it? Talk to me about this.
Nothing like coming out of retirement like the death of physical media, right?
Seems appropriate.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you having me on for this. And this is something that I figure as a video game podcaster is something I should probably, like, I feel like I should talk about this as if my opinion actually matters about any of this. I'm not out here to change anything, you know. I don't think we're going to change anything tonight with what we're going to talk about, but hopefully I feel like a lot of the discussion around all of this stuff is incredibly narrow, and maybe we could give it that broader, kind of give it a broader perception and what we usually bring to the table when we discuss current events with the gaming industry and stuff like that. But yes, thank you for exhuming my grave and desecrating my body tonight.
Yeah, well, you were the one who were like, I got the itch. Maybe I need to talk about this. And I'm like, hey, I haven't done a podcast with somebody in months since my third child was born. So I'm like, hey, let's do something together. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat you are. We do talk about current event stuff sometimes. We make a lot of jokes about current event stuff sometimes because both of us, I feel like humor is a way that we kind of just cope with stuff. Making fun of stuff that we probably shouldn't be taking so seriously, but we do take seriously anyways. It's just kind of a way that you and I both kind of cope with stuff. But yeah, obviously there's been a lot of bad things happening. Well, I mean, relatively bad things happening in the industry. And I told you before we started officially recording that I had tried to record and talk about this stuff a couple times, and each time I tried to, it kind of came off just kind of ranty, almost conspiracy theory, kind of like, tear down the system, burn it all down. We need to like just stop all this and start over. And I didn't want to put that out. I don't want to seem like a crazy person. I just kind of wanted to talk about it in a little bit more of a calm manner.
I mean, we should. You're not wrong.
Rip the system out. That's a podcast for another day, I think, probably. Yeah. But yeah, I think you and I both kind of were just like in an industry where it seems like bad news comes at a pretty consistent clip. The last month has been pretty crazy when it comes to just everything about that, especially after we just ended the season. That's kind of like the traditional like E3 season or summer showcase season where we see all this cool stuff and the vibes are usually pretty good. And then like right on the heels of that, it was just like a just dump truck of absolute shit.
Well, I have a question for you, and it's something I've been thinking about the past couple of days. You know, we're both gaming podcasters. We're both retro gaming podcasters, actually, Eric. And
I haven't come to terms with that yet, but you're correct.
And it got me thinking that, you know, for me personally, and I don't know if this is a thing with you as well. You know, we both started podcasting around the same time. And prior to that, you know, I was playing games. I was actively buying new games all the time. But I never actually was really tied or clued into like what was really going on in the industry. And so I kind of have like these weird rose tinted glasses where I'm like, oh yeah, everything prior to 2020 must have been great. You know, of course, like I could probably do like some research and look into like what was actually going on. Um, but like it seemed like uh, coincidentally COVID, like companies went crazy and just started buying things up because they had all of these tax incentives and all these bonuses and stuff coming because of the pandemic, and they did crazy shit with that money, and now we're seeing that all kind of like come to fruition, bite them in the ass. But I feel like because of the pandemic, things have just been swirling the drain, and I don't know if that's something you've also noticed, or if maybe just because I started a podcast and I actually started really paying attention to what was going on, that it just seems worse um, than I'm making it out to be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think I do agree with you because at least when you narrow the scope on video games specifically, the pandemic had this interesting effect where a lot of people were at home, got those stimulus checks, didn't really have anything to do, and maybe more people spent more time playing games than they normally would have because they were
Right.
figuratively trapped at home. So yeah, I think the industry did experience a boom. I mean, there's sales data you can go back to, and there is definitely a spike in 2021. And I think the overreaction to that and kind of the we need to bulk up, we need to hire as many people as possible so we can get as many games out as possible and kind of ride this wave was kind of like the knee jerk reaction. And I think you could trace back a lot of what's happening right now to kind of that knee jerk reaction to just kind of like overly scale up and overly size, knowing that I mean, the long term look should have been like, hey, this isn't going to be forever. People aren't going to, you're not going to be getting influxes of cash from the government every couple of months like we were during the pandemic to like
Right.
spend on stuff. And not everybody's going to be like stuck in their homes the way that they have been. I think in general, though, kind of just since that point, since 2020, um maybe going back a couple years earlier, not to get into like any political stuff specifically, but I think just in terms of this decade, I'll start off the conversation. We're going to talk about physical media, PlayStation, all that stuff. I think in general, overall, just encompassing everything in life and society right now, I think the vibes around most everything are feeling pretty bad right now. It's not just video games. It's not just like physical media going away. It feels like everybody is being squeezed from every direction all at the same time for literally everything. Gas is more expensive. Food is more expensive. The components to make the machines that we play the games on are more expensive. So at literally every point in your life, it feels like you're being squeezed for more and more money. And there's fewer and fewer companies that own the things that we love and enjoy to do. And they are making it consistently more difficult, more expensive to like access those things by like buying them up and then siloing them off
Right.
in their own ecosystems. And I think in general, just with everything going on in the world, with everything going on here, just to preface the face of people's anger at physical media going away and Sony and PlayStation and video games, I think that it's not just the physical media going away that's the issue. I just think people feel bad about kind of everything in life right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, you're right. Video games aren't political, so we shouldn't get political. And second of all, um, yeah, that's a good point. Like to say that the internet overreacts is an understatement. But also it's true. Like everybody's feeling pressured now from all of these corporate entities and the things that run our lives that we have no control over. So, it's when you have a hobby that you want to be able to just come home from work and turn your brain off for an hour or two. When you have a hobby like that, that's kind of being taken out of your control in the way that the physical disc production is ceasing, um, is kind of like it's a bummer, man. It sucks. I and I'm gonna say, like, I'm gonna preface this whole conversation with the fact that, like, um, this interests me because I'm fortunate enough to have basically grown up with the gaming industry. Like, I was, I was around for the NES. My brother, he's a little bit older than me, so he was there for like the inception of home consoles and stuff. I was just a little bit after him, and um, yeah, it's just, I don't know where I was going with this thought. Oh, right. So like I've seen things change. I've seen things come and go. I know you're a little bit younger than me, but like you've also like experienced like the same thing, like going from a DVD to like Blu-rays to like all of a sudden everything is digital, or like going from memory cards to console storage. I remember back in the day, people be like, well, how am I supposed to save my game? And I think like the first run of Xbox 360s still had like memory card slots, but did
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
use that? I'm not sure. Um, so it's stuff like that where it's just like, yeah, things come and they go, and I feel like we've kind of been like the frogs boiling in water for the past 15 years because um like we knew this day would come, right? Uh,
Yeah.
it's just feels like it may be coming at like a bad time for consumers.
Yeah.
And like full disclosure, I mean, I have a very small physical collection. Um, but I'm mostly digital. Like I would rather just buy my stuff digitally, and I kind of have a anecdote that I want to bring up towards the end of the podcast, if I can remember. Um, so it's like physical going away doesn't really personally affect me. So this is going to be kind of a weird podcast, but I'm going to be kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth here tonight. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I lost my thought here, but yeah, I just really wanted to preface that before we really kind of dig into this conversation, because it's like, yeah, I've been all digital baby for a long time. So
Yeah,
this isn't going to be something that really affects me yet. And I think that's what a lot of the things people are talking about is like, I almost feel like it's a reaction to things that haven't happened yet. It's not a
right.
reaction to like the facts or anything like that. It's literally like it's literally people are like, they're taking our games, and it's like, are they? Like,
Not yeah, it yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I too will preface it by saying that I too have a significant digital collection. I have not been immune to that. More so, it's been driven by my lifestyle recently because of children. It's more impractical for me to sit in front of a TV and a console to actually play games these days.
mhm.
So a large portion of my video game time has been allocated to things like my Switch and my Steam Deck. That's primarily how I've been able to play things lately. And I've amassed a pretty significant Steam collection over the last few years, kind of picking things up on sale when they are. And I know that's part of the conversation. So I will preface it by saying that I'm not going to sit up here on my soapbox and preach out of one corner of my mouth, like you said, that this is a great travesty that physical is dying. And I'm so outraged by this when I'm in a way part of the problem because I have
We're
spent money.
complicit.
Yeah, we are complicit. But I think two things can be true at once, and I think this is something that our society has a harder time coming to terms with, is that multiple things can be true at once. We can sit here and say that we buy digital, but I think you and I can also sit here and say that we see the inherent risks and dangers of an all digital future, and I think that the things that people are primarily concerned about like, you know, being locked into the PlayStation ecosystem and not having true ownership of the things that you buy are valid concerns. That I'm not saying that that isn't a valid concern. It should absolutely be a valid concern because you are ultimately trusting the big scary multi-billion-dollar corporation to, like, trusting that they will make decisions that are in your best interests, when over and over they have shown and proved that they do not make decisions that are in your best interests.
Mhm.
Their decisions, first and foremost, are for the people that invest in them. Their primary objective is to make and increase the value of the money that people invest in them. Like, that's not, let's not sit here and pretend that like that's not the case. It absolutely is with the major video game companies. I feel like video games have always kind of been a little bit of a handshake with the devil, because in order to enjoy these interactive experiences that we get on here and we literally make shows around, we talk about all the time, you've had to accept at a certain level that the way these things have gotten made over the years have been pretty shitty at times. And it ultimately, more and more, that you buying and enjoying these things are benefiting the highest people in power that own these companies, and not ultimately not the rank and file developers who most times just end up fired after they finish a project now. So like it's always been like an understanding that like there's stuff in video games that are shitty, and you just have to kind of, if you want to enjoy the medium, like that's kind of a an aspect of it, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, how many people are complicit in all of the, buying Ubisoft games, or how
Yeah.
many people made Bobby Kotick rich after 2020, like after all of the stuff that came out with him, and it's like you really have to pick and choose your battles. Like, do I feel really shitty that I buy stuff from Amazon? Yes, but also, like, I don't know, where the hell else am I going to get nail clippers at like 2 a.m. in the morning and get it
Because I
here within
really
like
need them.
15 minutes? Like, like, everything else is closed. So it's like you really have to like pick and choose your battles. You can't be you know s- you can't be what's the word I'm looking for, like morally righteous like in every part of your life. Like, it's not going to happen. And like I said, it's like I said earlier when you were talking about uh just how life is just coming at us from every angle, and like just and you just want to like sit down and play a video game, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to think about all of that shit when I'm playing Power Wash Simulator, you know what I mean? So
Fair.
um yeah, it's just there's no way. It's kind of like and this started with GTA 6, right? Like, GTA 6 was like, I guess we'll take the bullet, which, there was probably some talks with Sony. They were probably in cahoots, and they crunched the numbers. And I think I told you in the chat, like, I'm surprised Rockstar just hasn't put like a JPEG thing out for, media, and been like, what, you're not gonna buy GTA 6? Like, of course you're gonna buy GTA 6. Like,
Exactly.
it's gonna sell 1 billion copies in its first week. Like, and then it's like, you see all the people like mass canceling their PSN accounts, which is also kind of like, all right, so what do you still got? What do you got, like a week left on that? Do you have 3 months, or do you still have until next year? Like, you're still going to be reaping those benefits? Like, they got your money already. But then when GTA 6 comes out and all their friends are playing multiplayer, guess you gotta sign up for PSN to play multiplayer, which is,
Yep.
that's a whole other can of worms. Like, it's ridiculous that in order to play with your friends online, you have to have a subscription. Like, motherfucker, I'm already paying my ISP every month. Like, why do I need another subscription? That's a whole other podcast. But so it's like one of those things where it's like, do you just want the convenience of comfort, or are you really about that life? And if you're about that life, then be about it. I guess we could kind of go down the road of like all these other weird arguments that I've seen, and people like raging out about physical media, but I don't know if you want to go there quite yet. Um, but
No, I
something I do want to touch on though, real quick, sorry, is
yeah, yeah, you're
just
good.
the argument that Sony will now have a monopoly on their store, which they could. Nintendo certainly does, but also, I don't know what the statistic is, but I know Nintendo's digital sales are higher than their physical sales. And I think we're kind of seeing Nintendo seeing what Sony is seeing right now as far as that goes. Because now Nintendo's digital games, are cheaper than their physical games. So they're seeing that there's something in the water. Nintendo's always very slow to adapt to what the industry trend is, so we'll see what happens with that. But they have a monopoly on their store, and they Breath of the Wild is still like a fucking $60 or $70 game.
Yeah.
And people buy that game all the time. People are buying Mario Party for fucking $60, I guess. So those games are always full price. They might take $10 off during Christmas or something, and that's the cheapest they'll get, and people will buy it. People hate it. I hate it. I know legitimate Nintendo fans hate it. They hate it. But you know what? That's fucking life. They just deal with it. And so the question really is, can Sony get away with that? Do they have the support for those? Do their first party games? Does somebody really want to buy the third remake of The Last of Us for full price or whatever? Do they really still want to play the next God of War for full price? Do they have that prestige that Nintendo can get away with?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I made that example specifically when we were talking about digital storefronts, and I was like, motherfucker, Breath of the Wild is a 10-year-old game, and I've seen it on sale for $5 or $5 off one time.
Yeah, right.
What are we doing? So, oh man, you made so many great points. There's so many points where I could jump off and go off on one of my points.
Let me also add this too, because if they're just an all digital storefront, people are talking about how they will have no competition. Well, sure, they'll have no competition within their ecosystem. They can price whatever they want, but there's still Nintendo and Xbox, so they do have competition still. And it's funny because a lot of people are talking about leaving PlayStation and going to PC, which is also what are you talking about? Yes. You should have maybe done that long before this.
It's definitely more expensive a proposition now than
yes,
it was.
For sure. You should have done that a long time ago. But Sony will then also be competing with Steam and GOG and Epic and all of those other digital storefronts as well. So the competition is still there. And if they do decide to pull a Nintendo, again, it comes down to, well, do they have that kind of Nintendo legacy? And I kind of personally, I love Sony. My favorite console is the first PlayStation. And even I'm going to be I don't think so. What's more popular than Mario Brothers on Sony? Or on Sony,
Nothing.
On PlayStation. What's
Nothing.
more popular than Zelda?
There's nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think 10 years ago, if you'd asked me during the height of the PlayStation 4, when they were coming out with all those bangers and games that they kind of built the last 10 years of goodwill off of, I would have told you that maybe that value proposition was there, but they kind of blew all that when they made this stupid turn to hey, we're going to invest all the money we made on all these cinematic narrative experiences that we made, and we're going to try and make 14 live service games so we can just have the next Fortnite and then not have to make games anymore. And none of those games came out and survived longer than a month. Some of them didn't even come out. So it's just they're lighting money on fire, basically. Mm-hmm. That's, again, might be a whole nother topic, but also just on the fact that we can go off on so many tangents on it, this issue is linked to like so many other things that are happening that it's hard to kind of just focus in on like one thing. And
Yeah.
that's something also I want to stress to people is that like it's not just a black and white thing where they are like, oh, we're just ending physical media. There are layers and layers and decisions and things that have happened that have kind of led us to this point. I want to go back and touch on when you were like, hey, are you about that life or not? When you were referencing people who were like, yeah, I'm canceling my PSN. I'm not going to buy the next PlayStation. I'm done with PlayStation. And that was something I wanted to go back to and touch on specifically, because this is something that's kind of frustrated me about kind of being in, like, we're very fortunate to, and I'm going to preface this to everybody in like our little group that might be listening to this. I'm going to use words like we and you. I'm not referring to like us and you specifically. I'm referring to like an ambiguous group of people for the most part. So don't get offended at that. Our group of people is a like really wonderful collection of people who play like retro games and are like game collectors and do all kinds of like really cool content around all this stuff that's like really unique in video games. I mean, if you spend all day, every day in their Discord servers and on their timelines, and you've cultivated your friend group on Twitter and Blue Sky, whatever, to like just see that content, you would have the assumption that everybody who plays video games is like that and is like you. And that is very much just absolutely not the case. It is not. As big and amazing as our community is of like all these incredible people, it is not indicative of the majority. And I think we have to come to terms with that first and foremost, that the things that our community might be passionate about is not indicative or representative of the entire gamer player base. It's simply not. It's just not true. Not everybody has a gigantic physical media collection. Not everybody goes... the average person does not play like 50, 60 games a year like we do sometimes. They simply don't. The average person is buying like 2 games a year, playing their live service game they play for 10 years, playing the latest Call of Duty, the Madden, whatever. They come home for 2 hours and they just want to play the game that they're comfortable with playing. They don't go out of their way to experience something new because the value proposition for them to like experience something new just isn't there. Why would they spend now $80 on a video game to try something new when they could just play the same thing that they know and they enjoy and they love and their friends play it? That's the reality here. So every person that you see saying, I'm going to cancel my PSN, I'm not buying the next PlayStation 6, like, first of all, I don't believe it, because we saw a bunch of that happen. And then what did PlayStation do? They dropped the ports of Black Ops 1 and 2 on the digital Sony store a week later, and they instantly became the #1 selling fucking game of PlayStation for like that month. So like, don't be out here farming fucking outrage, being like, I'm so mad at this, and like getting the fake internet points. And then a week later going to buy like 15-year-old games that they're charging you $40 for. Because like you said, you aren't about that life. You're just on here farming internet outrage to get the free points and to get like the attention for like whatever it is that you're doing. Like, you're not about it at all.
That's
and
I'm just gonna say, like, the Call of Duty thing, which was like what, released a week after all of this happened.
yes.
Keep in mind, that's a multi-platform game, third-party multi-platform game, not just on PlayStation.
True.
And I've brought this up to you personally, but I feel like Wolverine is really going to be the real litmus test. It is a first-party Sony
Right.
exclusive, and if they truly care, those physical sales will be through the roof.
Yes.
And
or
what
you
if-
won't buy it.
or you won't buy it, right? But like, if those physical sales are not close to parity with digital, or worse, they're less, what does that say then?
What does it say? It's to me, it's like the collective will of everybody to do something about it is very small when you realize how many people play video games. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic about this. I'm really not. But it's just like a large majority of people just don't give a shit. And that's what the data shows. That's what the statistics show. Like, that's what Sony is seeing. Capcom came out with a statistic that said that like 93% of their game sales are digital now. Nintendo doesn't come out with digital sales. They don't like really reveal that information. But like everyone's like best guesstimate is that over 50% of games are sold on the Switch now digitally. Lower on Nintendo, because Nintendo games have that kind of like physical association with them, because they always have. But
yeah, I want to say it was like
it's over half now.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 52 or something like that, or 52% is like digital or something. I don't know where that number came from, but
Yes. So
yeah.
like the statistics that Sony is looking at is very much informing their decisions. Be like, yes, okay, so a small majority of people, like a 500,000 people, might cancel their PSN accounts. We have 50 million people that use the PSN service. So like losing 1% of a player base, and they are banking on you not having the attention span long enough. Like you said, like you're mad about this now. Oh, look here, let me jingle Black Ops in front of you. It's a 15-year-old game. You have nostalgia. Like how many people, like you're not going to stick to your morals then. Or right, are you really going to miss out on GTA 6 because they said they're not selling a digital copy? The game that everybody's been waiting for and can't
Physical
shut the
copy.
fuck up about. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the game that people can't shut the fuck up about. The game that people are like fucking waiting outside of Rockstar headquarters and like counting the cigarette butts like on the ground to see like if people are extra stress smoking because like stuff is coming out. Like that shit that people are doing, dude. Like that's the tizzy that this game has. Like, are you really about that life that you're willing to like miss out on that based on your principles? If
Like I
you
said,
are, good for fucking you. I'm not buying it just because I fucking hate GTA and I think it's a bad series and I think Rockstar makes bad games. That's just me.
I'm
But
totally buying
like,
GTA 6, but
are you?
that's
Are
neither
you?
here nor there. But um no, and I think that's the thing people forget. They're like, oh yeah, they think about the digital storefront and like getting those free digital games every month and whatever, but then they're just like, oh wait, yeah, that's right. I can't play Madden with my friends. I can't play 2K with my friends now. Shit. Well, I guess I'm signing up for PSN or whatever, they're gonna forget, like
We're in the minority. Like that's just the truth, the objective truth that you have to like accept. Not saying that like
oh yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
old and have no friends and I don't play online games, so it's
right. I'm not saying, and I'm not saying you shouldn't like voice your opinion if you think that is wrong. Like you have every right to do so. It's the First Amendment,
yeah,
like America, you do
right.
that. But like to me, it's like don't be on here to have your cake and eat it too. Like don't be on here and say like you're about that life and you're gonna cancel all this shit, and then like a month later, I catch you going out and farming clips and farming content for like GTA or Wolverine or whatever like the hype game comes out. The collective will not overcome, cannot overcome the hype of the video game industry and the convenience. I like you said, the Amazon example, like people bitch to high heavens about how terrible Amazon is and how they treat their workers. I would know. I worked in the belly of the beast for 2 years. And they're like, oh, it's so terrible. But as soon as they need something, they're firing up Amazon and having it delivered to their house within 24 hours. So it's like the convenience factor of all that stuff, like, cannot outweigh people's collective will to like do something about it, will tolerate a lot of shit if it is convenient for them, right? They will put up with like people being abused because it's not their problem. They don't work in there. They just get their toenail clippers delivered to them at 2 a.m., like you said. Like, the
Dude, my
convenience
toenails
factor
were
of it,
like really long, dude. I was like cutting
right,
myself.
right. So it's just like I hate to be like the Debbie Downer of it because I didn't want to be a Debbie Downer on this episode, but it's like the people that like really care about this shit the way we do are absolutely in the minority of it, and I don't believe that people have the collective will to like be able to withstand a GTA 6 or be able to like miss out on stuff when like big stuff is happening. And I truly believe that like I know I trust when a lot of the people that we're friends with say that like they're fucking done with this shit. I believe them. But like the randos I come across on the internet, I'm like, all right, brother, I better not see you. They just want to farm the
Yeah.
outrage for likes, and then they're gonna farm the content when it comes out. Like that's all it is. That's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, for sure. No, I obviously there are going to be people that don't come back. They're done with Sony. They won't come back. Which also kind of is like, it's one of those weird things where I think about it where I'm just like, okay, so, and it's not just like in our community, but I just see people like in general, we're like, and I guess I've never really understood this, and I mean I'm guilty of it at times, but overall, like, I wouldn't say I'm like emotionally attached to video games. Um, you and I always talk about making, we talk about people who make certain things their whole personality. Um, And I think a lot of gamers TM are guilty of doing that. Um, and so it's like you cancel the subscription and you shun the company that you grew up with since whatever generation, the first generation or second generation of consoles that they put out. And now you like want them to fail, like you want them to go bankrupt or stop making video games, and the other people who don't mind those digital the digital games, you want them to suffer. Now they don't get to enjoy their games. Like I don't. What's the end game for you there, and where are you going? Obviously, I guess the answer is a lot of people are going to PC, which I don't think is the answer they think it's going to be when, a PlayStation 6 and when is that going to launch? Probably 2028, 2029 or something like that. A PlayStation 6.
I basically feel like this is them admitting that the PS6 is not going to have a disc drive.
Oh,
like
for sure.
that's kind of
for sure.
The timing feels like that.
The PS Pro did not come with a disc drive. You had to buy a separate disc drive for, or like an attachment.
Well, there you
go. But so yeah, in 2028 and 2029, when a single console, the PS6, is probably going to cost just as much as it is for just RAM by itself, never mind the rest of the parts of the PC.
Right.
So I don't know if people realize what they're stepping into there. So that's just kind of it's just a very weird concept to me to be like, well, I hope this company fails now, and I hope whatever. Like, I don't know. The thing too is like, there was a boardroom of people, of like high level executives who probably crunched the numbers. Like, I don't I don't understand where people are like, they think there's just going to be this mass exodus of like PSN people all of a sudden, and it's going to catch Sony off guard. Like, no, they've thought about this probably for like a year. Like they knew what was going to happen. Like, and they don't care. And it's just such a confusing thing to me to be like, oh yeah, well now I hope they fail and they go bankrupt and whatever, or maybe they'll learn the errors of their ways. But it's like, no, all of this was pre-planned out. And also, like, why would you want people who are perfectly fine, like you or I, behind a digital game and be like, oh well, I guess Sony's out of business now, or like, and everybody. And then it's funny because then people will turn around and make fun of Xbox. Who knows what the hell's going on over there. Right. But it's just like, man, yeah, it sucks what's going on over at Microsoft and Xbox. Like, that's a company. I had the first Xbox. Like, I grew up playing with Xbox. I have a Series X. Like, I don't want to see them stop making games or stop making consoles. Like, who knows what's going to happen? I didn't want Sega to stop doing that. Thankfully, they're still around putting out great games, at least, like, I lived through this, motherfucker. Like,
right.
I was in the trenches. Right. Like, so
yeah,
it's anyway, I feel like I've been ranting, but my whole point was really just like, what's your end game with like this mass exodus? Like, what do people really want?
Right. Your point's well received, because at the end of the day, unless you are fortunate enough to have a PC that you can be in the PC ecosystem, if those platforms ultimately fail, then you have nothing, right? And that might be part of the cold calculus that Sony is thinking, right? It's like, well, if we lose some people, they're like most vocal people, like whatever, like a vast majority of people just aren't going to care and aren't going to be bothered by this. So we're just going to let it blow over. And I also kind of like their timing on this too, because GTA 6 was getting a lot of flack for like not having the digital version or the physical version, or like they're going to have a physical version, but it's just going to be a plastic box with a code in it. And like, that's going to be the only thing. So, I mean, devious business move on them to like, basically hide behind the hype shield that is GTA 6. But yeah, it does kind of suck that like the solution that's being put forward is to like boycott completely, because at the end of the day, you might not like the thing that the company is doing, but you like the experiences that they put out and you have good memories of them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be playing the game. So to me, it really sucks that your solution is I have to like remove myself from the thing that I like in order to like feel like I'm voicing my change. You know, like you ultimately have to like not enjoy the thing that you enjoy to have a say against the company, right? You kind of understand what I'm saying? Like I feel like you shouldn't have to give up the thing that you love to like enact the change that you want. Or I feel
Sure.
like you shouldn't have to wish failure on the platform that you love, because you know ultimately without that platform you're not going to have a way to play those things, because PC just isn't a viable option for everybody. Like console was supposed to be the option that's like more affordable than PC. It's supposed to be like the every person's way to play video games, and it just seems less and less like that is not the case. And if consoles go away completely, then it really is a case of yeah, you need to have a PC. But at least on PC, you know, I know Steam is like the dominant player. There's still options on PC. Like Steam is big enough that they offer a bunch of sales all the time. There's enough competition on PC where that Steam has to offer sales to like compete with their other people. Like there's PC, Epic Game Store, like Ubisoft has their own launcher, EA has their own launcher, Blizzard has their own launcher. There's GOG, there's itch.io. There's like a bunch of places you can go on PC to like play games. So at least in that way, it feels like there's a sense of choice. That there's not when you're isolated in like a Nintendo ecosystem or a PlayStation ecosystem. But I guess what I'm saying is it sucks that you feel like you have to not buy a PlayStation 6, not buy PlayStation games anymore, because that's the only way. And like we talk about like voting with your wallet, like that's really the only power that we have to like voice our displeasure with those companies. But at the end of the day, it goes back to my we're in the minority argument. Not enough people will vote with their wallets to make PlayStation change course, because a vast majority of people, like the statistics show, most people already buy digital. Most people are not in the trenches of the video game discourse the way that we are. That's just the reality of it, and we have to try and find out and figure out a way forward. I'm increasingly just going back and playing older stuff because I can't keep up with like the deluge of new games, and I just don't want to like be involved with all of the negativity that is like surrounding conversations and comes with playing like modern video games. I feel like I have enough games in my Steam backlog that I could play till I die and I'd be fine.
Right.
So it sucks, and it doesn't seem like there's like a good solution for everybody that'll make everybody happy. And Sony kind of knows that, and they're just going to be like, well, you might scream and cry about it, but see it GTA 6 launch, or see it for next God of War, or see it next PS6. It just kind of feels like that's where we are right now. And I don't know. I don't have a solution. Like boycotting is not a solution because not enough people are going to boycott. And then you're just depriving yourself of the thing that you love. So I don't know.
Historically, Americans are not very good at boycotting anything.
No,
we're not good at it.
We're consumerists at heart. We're so swayed by consuming things. We love capitalism, dude. As much as we might hate about like what it does in practice, we love that we can just fucking order toenail clippers at 2 a.m. on our phone. Like until the general will of the people is so tired of like the way these companies treat us that it outweighs the convenience that they offer, there will be no change.
Well, and that's just it. Like does it come down to just convenience? I wasn't going to bring this up, but I guess it's not the anecdote I wanted to bring up, but so I have to play Sonic 06, right? That is a game that is delisted. You cannot buy that game digitally, and of course that was my preference. I would rather just play it digitally. Booted up my Series X, not on the storefront. Find out you can't. play it on PlayStation either. So it's just gone. So I'm like, well, shit, that sucks. And I'm like, well, I'll just emulate it. And I'm like, I don't want to like go through the whatever hoops I have to go through to emulate a 360 game or whatever.
Sonic 06 to emulate Sonic 06.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'll save physical media. I'll buy a copy of Sonic 06.
You saved physical media. Oh my God.
I saved it by buying Sonic 06. No, but that's the thing. Like that, in all of its weirdness, buying a physical copy was the most convenient move for me. And so I think that's kind of one of the things too, where I feel like a lot of this is just about convenience, and it ties back to your whole thing about voting with your wallet. Well, I think for the past 15 years, people have been voting with their wallet by signing up to these subscriptions and signing up to Game Pass, and conveniently just like, well, I'll just buy this one. I'll buy this one game digitally. And then they kind of like, oh, well, maybe I'll buy this one too. And maybe this one. Oh, there's a good sale. People have been voting for the wallets. And that's what I kind of meant earlier when I said we've all kind of been like frogs boiling in the water.
Right.
And that we welcomed this digital future very early, and we're complicit in all of this. And now the fucking writing's on the wall, and now it is a real, very real thing that physical media will be going away. Not saying that that's right. Like, not saying that that is the move that Sony should have been like, oh yeah, let's just get rid of it. My thing is, and I'll never understand, because again, I buy digitally. I don't like having fucking physical things, games in my house. I don't need a Virgin corner. People are gonna be really mad about that.
Jeez,
I don't like having that shit in my house. So it's like, is it about just having the box now? Because now this is also goes down another rabbit hole and talking about like 90% of discs out there, especially like the major titles, don't actually have a game on the disc. So like, would people be happy if Sony did what Rockstar is doing and is just like, I don't know, here's the box, but there's no disc? Like, would people be okay with that? I don't know. I'm not a collector. I think I'm just kind of just asking in general. Like,
I think it's more about what the box represents, because again, to your point, if the platform goes away, the box and the disc are meaningless if there's no platform to play the box on or play the disc on. But most, I don't know how long this has been going on, but now with like the advent of like hard drives and consoles are behaving more like PCs. Yeah, the disc just prompts the installation of the game to your hard drive, and really the disc is kind of just like a licensing check to see if you bought that game and have the permission to play it now. Once those servers go down, are you even going to be able to play that disc? Just the way with everything is online now. Even single player games are like online only. So once this, in 20 years, when Sony shuts down the PS5 servers because they're on PS8 or 9 or wherever we are you going to be able to play your PS5 games just because the disc just prompts a partial installation on your hard drive, and then you download the day one patch to finish the rest of the game, and then it's just licensing check is essentially all that it is. So it gets into this question of physical going away feels less like you own things and more like you're just borrowing something temporarily, and that Sony can kind of take it away whenever they want. And that's the way you lose media. That's the way you don't preserve things. And I think is a really valid concern in an industry where things are like preservation is just not the concern, because most people and most corporations don't view video games as expressions of art the way that we do and we value in our community. And that's always been the tug of war between the business side of games and the creative side of games. It's like, the people want to make games because they love making games, but the corporations want to sell games because they make a lot of money, and they don't really care about them beyond the fact that they make money. There's no there's nothing in place to like be able to preserve something, and you can't preserve them the way that you preserve like a painting or a sculpture by putting it in a museum. Like, I think people tend to forget that video games are really fucking stupidly complicated to make, and it involves like so much shit working together within like the game engine and the way things are designed and the way like with my old member of my old podcast, I did an episode about talking about how developers hated designing fucking doors because
They
doors
hate
were
mirrors,
so
too.
yeah, and they hate mirrors. Like just things that you just be like, oh yeah, you don't even take a second to think about it. Developers are like, yeah, we had to spend 50 hours figuring out how to make this fucking door transition work because video games are like magic inside of a little box, and you can't just preserve that because it relies on the game working within the engine, when like all that working as a product, like on the system to run it. Like, it's not just like you hang it on a wall in a museum. It's not. So I think that's one of the big concerns about people like being able to access the guy who runs like the Video Game History Foundation put out like was like talking about it, and he's like, yeah, you shouldn't have to, like, if you want to play GTA 6 in 20 years, you shouldn't have to go to like a museum to like be able to do it if that's like even where we're headed. So
Right.
I think the preservation aspect of it is something that is really concerning because yeah, we're seeing it now, even with like now that everybody has figured out that it's more valuable to like hold on to your shit than make it available everywhere, especially in like TVs and movies. This has happened, right? All the streaming services have taken back their stuff and siloed it off in their own TV service or streaming services so that if you want it, you have to pay them. And now this is happening, like movies that people have bought on their PlayStation are now just like disappearing because, oh, well, the licensing is up and now that company wants to have their movie only in their service. So they'll just take it away from you and you can't watch it anymore. Yeah, and that about all of this is like the shit that feels the worst to me by far is that, you know, if that really is the case, if that disc that you own from PS5 is just a licensing check, if the digital download is just a licensing check, if anything ever happens, if that company goes under, someone else buys the rights, you know, 10 years down the road, there's been 15 acquisitions. Now we don't know who owns the rights. And that company's all of a sudden like, yeah, no, I don't want that on that platform. I'll just delist it. And then it's gone forever. And then you don't have access to it. Like, I know that people don't think about like gaming on the phone as gaming, but like mobile games are a large, a pretty big market of like how people play video games now. Like even the silly little gotcha games or like all these silly games you see advertised on Instagram when you're going through. Like those get delisted all the time, and those are just fucking gone without a thought of preservation at all. So like even if you wanted to go back and like do content or talk about like the history of mobile games, like most of the stuff that was made 10 years ago or like 15 years ago for like the original, like when the iPhone first came out, that shit's gone, dude. Like you can't, that's nowhere to be found. Like the series that I love, like the Kingdom Hearts has a mobile game that is delisted that you cannot experience, that has valuable lore in it, that the only way you can experience it now is if you had it downloaded, you can re-download it, or you have to watch the cutscenes on YouTube. And that like shit is important to that game, and they just took it away. So that aspect to me is what really concerns me about like all of this. But your point is well made, because how long have discs not been the game where you like, let's not kid ourselves. Like it's not just like PS2, pop the disc in and you play the game, and the game's being read off the disc. Like that's not happening.
Yeah, a couple of points I want to hit on. But going back to like the disc just not having a game on it, I mean, the reason why I mostly started going digital was like in 2009 or whatever, when like games just, they didn't come with manuals anymore. And I'm like,
Right.
well, what's the point of buying this if I can't sit there and read something on the toilet? Like if I can't learn the game.
They used to
or
come
like
with things.
Yeah, or like read a giant
Skyrim
map
had
or
a
hang
giant map when it
Yeah.
came with when you bought it
Like,
originally.
if I don't have something cool to hang on my wall, or like something cool to look at, or have like extra bits of lore to like read into for the game, like why would I keep buying this? Like I don't, like I'll just get, like there's no point. For me personally, there was no point. I'm like, well, I may as well just get the digital version because I'm not getting anything with the physical version anyway. So anyway, so that's kind of what was the deciding factor for me to go all digital. And then yeah, just kind of finding out like later when it started becoming more prominent with the Xbox One and the PS4, where like they were just like, yeah, we're not putting any games on these discs anymore. You, this Blu-ray can't hold a 500 gigabyte Call of Duty file. Like, sorry, you know.
Oh, your disc can't hold the game on one disc. Boo-hoo. I used to have to change the disc in like my 4-disc Final
I know,
Fantasy
right?
9 game. Like, yeah.
Well,
Boo-hoo.
to Square's credit, I mean, they've got like an 8, like those games are 8 discs now, the remake series or whatever. But anyway, oh, hold on, I gotta think for a second. Some of the other points you were talking about,
Dude, it's so much. You can go in so many different directions.
right? Oh shit. Oh no, fuck. Hold on, give me a minute.
I have a couple other things I can rattle off while you're thinking, if you need me to fill
Yeah, go ahead.
airtime. So one other thing too, I want to go back to, you said people were voting with their wallet, and you know, we tell people we want people to vote with their wallets when we want them to vote the way we want them to, right? But you're 100% right, is that people are voting with their wallets, and the data is showing that most people already buy digital. Like 80% of people already buy digital. That's the statistic. That's the stat that gets thrown around. We fucking hate microtransactions, right? They're the worst thing ever. We complain about them all the time. But year over year, revenue from microtransactions are growing, and the percentage of people that say they buy microtransactions is like rising. So this is all signaling to these people at the top that are making these decisions. It's like, oh, this is just the trend. This is the way it's going. And those are the decisions that get made. There's a big hoopla this week about the latest college football game that was coming out. They put like microtransaction stuff and locked stuff in their single player modes, like behind higher editions of the game. And credit to the community of that game, because they made a huge stink about it and they got those taken out of the video game. And we tend to think that that's not a big deal, because we over here in our community are above playing college football 27 by EA Sports. The reality is, when college football came back, that game hadn't been around for like 10 years. That game made $500 million when it came back. Like, it made $500 million like instantly when it came back. And so like, that's the reality of the majority. That's majority of people, just that's their experience. It keeps coming back to like the majority of people, like that is what their experience is. And they don't really give a shit that EA is owned by Saudi Arabia now. Like they don't. They're gonna play their college football game and not think about it, and that's them voting with their wallet. So people are just voting with their wallet in that way.
Half the developers that are making games currently are owned by Tencent. So, and
Right.
nobody cares. Like, I do remember what I wanted to touch on, because you were talking about game preservation, and I think it's funny, especially coming from all of the Sony fanboys and stuff, is that they want to sit here and preach about fucking preservation. I don't want to hear preservation come out of anybody's mouth when everybody was just clowning on Concord and nobody cared about Concord. And that thing just bit the bullet immediately, and nobody's talking about, oh, we need physical copies of Concord. They need to keep the servers up. Like, yeah, it's a bad game. Don't bad games also deserve like to be preserved?
Yeah. Or what was the other one? The Jeff Keighley end of the game awards, High Guard. That one too.
Oh yeah. Exactly. So it's
no,
just
everybody was cheering when that thing failed. Everyone was like, "Yeah, High Guard failed." It'd be like, "Okay, you're not gonna be able to ever revisit it."
Right. Don't preach to me about preservation when you're like, again, very strangely like praying for the downfall of any type of game. Especially when people are losing their jobs when they make a good game. Like,
right.
But then also to touch on the fact of just kind of how almost disposable some games can feel, in which it's like video games are kind of like a very special type of media. Like, right, like it doesn't feel like it should be as, especially now, as disposable as like music or a movie. Like a song is 3 minutes long. You're watching a movie for 90, maybe 120 minutes max. When you're playing a video game, I mean, you could be playing it for anywhere from 15 to 300 hours. You know, it's
Right.
much more of a commitment, and then it sucks. It sucks when you lose like a game like Sonic 06 to the digital ether,
Yeah.
and you can't play that anymore. So I definitely get like people's concerns with like, oh, like eventually games will be delisted or whatever, but then also at the same time they'll be happy when a game like Concord fails. It's a very confusing thing.
Right.
But I get like, yeah, I get people are scared that they might lose access to their games the same way that they lost access to their movies. You know, I don't have like an answer to that. So here's my anecdote that I wanted to bring up. Because there was a game, it's one of my favorite games, it's one of my favorite horror games, got delisted in 2014. And that game is PT.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
you know, I've been buying games digitally, like I said, since like 2009. I don't know how, I have a lot of fucking video games, dude. A lot. And they're all digital. I've backed them up in some form or another. I think I'm okay. But regardless of all that, I have never, ever lost any of my games. They have not been taken down or anything. But in the case of PT, I never deleted PT off of my PS4. I can still go play PT to this day, and that is a digital-only game, despite it being pulled off the store, the license, the hard drive for that game probably like incinerated at the basement of Konami or something. Like, I could still play PT. My PS4 is allegedly worth like $3,000 or something on eBay.
Yeah.
And so I want to throw that anecdote out there that even though there's a very real possibility of Sony retracting those licenses and taking a game off of the store like Concord. Concord's more interesting because that's a multiplayer game.
Right.
So if that server's dead, then the game is basically dead. But just like, I mean, Sony is like the single player company, really. I mean, they make like, you know, the high quality first player or single player games, I mean. So I don't know how, like, as long as you have those games installed, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to play them. I don't know. All I know is that personally, you know, like I said, I bought PT. I didn't buy it. It was free. I got PT, and within like 3 months or something, it was gone. It was scrubbed from existence, and yet I can still play it in 2026. So I don't know what that says. I think maybe people are just, I don't know. I think people are just, like you said, they're frustrated, right?
Yeah. And I think the point of we're at an hour now, and I told Keith we keep it at an hour here. Obviously, there's a lot to say. I think the point that both of us are trying to make is not that that we're not saying that this doesn't suck, because it absolutely does suck. Everything sucks right now about just being in video games in general. It just seems like the news is all bad, whether you're working on them, whether you're talking about them. Like, it just seems that the deluge of news is just constantly bad all the time. So we're not trying to tell you that things don't suck right now. We're not trying to tell you that you can't be or shouldn't be upset that this is happening. I think more of what we're trying to do here is just understand and help you understand the reality of what actually is going on, and to just can maybe make you realize that our community is not indicative of the majority. As much as we feel like maybe we are the guardians and keepers of the sacred truth of video games, I just keep coming back to it. It's like that. It's just that's not most people.
Can I
That's just not what it is. And I think ultimately I just want people to understand ultimately why this is happening, and just admit like I don't have any answers for you. I don't have a good solution. I don't think either of us have solutions as to like how we can feel better about this. But yeah,
can I
yeah.
let's I want to leave you with this question, your listeners with this question. What if, because like, nobody's talked about this, not that I've seen in the ether, the internet. What if Sony solved the problem by being like, when they announced the PS6, and all of this shit has died down, they're like, you know what? These digital downloads are a permanent license. They are DRM free, just like good old games. Guarantee refunds, and you would get compensation, or at least a bit of compensation for delisted games. Like, what if they solve the problem? Does that change everything?
That would be incredible, and it would be an incredible pro-consumer move on their part. But my devil's advocate argument to that would be, doesn't it feel bad to have to trust a giant corporation to do the right thing to have and maintain access to the things that you love? To me, that feels pretty bad.
Sure.
Like, I don't want to have to trust PlayStation to do the right thing when most of the companies in this industry, and just most companies in general, have demonstrated a willingness to do the complete opposite at every possible chance in order to gain the shortest amount of profit boost possible. Like, all their decisions are so completely short-sighted that I don't have the confidence in most of our institutions remaining to make the best decisions long term for us for anything across the board.
Yeah, I mean, it would certainly, like, if that happened, I mean, it would be
But
unprecedented.
it would be
Like,
great. It would
would
be
really
yes.
force the hand of Microsoft. It would really force the hand of Nintendo. Um, it would be just as a drastic of a change as getting rid of physical copies of games. It would be huge. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen or anything like that. Who knows? It could, like, one of those things could be true, but we don't know. Just like everybody else doesn't know that they're going to take our games. Like, you don't know that. So yeah, again, I feel like a lot of this stuff, like you said, like, we're just kind of like screaming into the ether, but kind of letting everybody know that like these changes have happened over time and things continue to change. And a lot of this I feel like is based on ownership and convenience. Economics play a huge role in it. And I think nostalgia too. That's kind of something I wanted to touch on too, is just I think a lot of this is like people my age and older who are kind of imprinting their memories on a younger generation that just does not give a shit about physical media at all. Your kids are very young. They're not going to know what it's like downloading a game. All they'll know is streaming. They're just like, oh yeah. And then when they're our age, they'll be like, oh man, remember when we used to stream movies and games, and now we just press this button in our cerebral chip or whatever, and it just is directly fed to us.
Right.
I mean, just that, like, we used to put cartridges in our game, we used to put cartridges in the console, and then we switched to CDs, and then we switched to buying it off a digital storefront and not having a memory card and storing it in the console itself. And now it's just, things change, man. And I just it sucks. Like, it does suck. But like, I hate to say this, but I feel like it's just like it's not for us anymore. Like, uh, a lot of people are gonna. Oh, you brought. This was the other thing I want to briefly touch on too. Is just you brought up like video games as art, which is something I do believe. But you got to think like when I was growing up, man, these were toys.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Video games are just toys, and now I feel like, um, yeah, they are art, but I feel like also with just like the way economics are and just how much goes into making a video game, that they have become less of a toy and more of just like high-end tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You even need the console to be able to play the games. Um, so it just is becoming like this, I don't know, like the industry is just so over bloated. I feel like it's just collapsing in on of itself, and it's just
Wouldn't be the first time that it happened.
yeah, no, yeah, it feels bad. It feels bad, and it feels bad for everybody, and it sucks.
Your point about nostalgia is well received. Yeah, it seems that we've gotten to the point now in my life where I've started to see the discourse towards games that were long considered like established classics and untouchable now begin to be assaulted by the younger generation of content creators that are coming up. One meme that I've seen circulating around that I think is really funny is like a guy pointing to all the games that we love. It's got like Final Fantasy VII on there and like BioShock and Chrono Trigger and like all the classics that we grew up with. And it's like a guy pointing and it just says Unk Slop on the top of it. That's just like, it's just like games that like, you know, we're Unk status now because we're older. And like, it's just like, oh yeah, those are the games that all your like fucking old uncles loved. My pushback against that is, yeah, I have a nostalgia for the time when I can put a game in my or put a disc in my system and it would play, and I could put that game in my system and I wouldn't immediately be assaulted by the most devious, underhanded casino gambling tactics to try to get me to spend more money in your game. That is where I am nostalgic for the old days of games when I and my coworker, one of my coworkers put it best of this because we were kind of talking about the same thing about how things change like the early days of the internet. I miss the day when I could go on this was his quote. He said, "I miss the day when I could go on a website and feel safe." And what he meant by that was like not that the website was designed to like extract the maximum amount of value from you at every possible point. And I agree with that sentiment. I miss the day where I feel like I could go into playing a game and feel safe, and not that it was explicitly designed to try and extract the maximum amount of value from me. And I think that's ultimately like where we're at. That's ultimately what this move to all digital is all about. At the end of the day, it's extracting the maximum amount of value and allowing Sony to keep the maximum amount of value that they can extract from us. And if they don't have to have the cost of making physical discs and physical cases anymore, no matter how minuscule that probably is in
Right.
their ledger, they don't want to do it. It's a profit maximizing move at the end of the day, as everything is, and as everything should be treated and understood as. Again, I'm not here to like offer a solution for it because I don't have one, and I agree with you that I think that this is the direction that we're moving, and it will probably keep moving in that direction for everything, for streaming. And I've long thought that streaming video games is the end goal. They don't want you to like own it and have it installed on your hard drive, or pretty soon it will just be too big to be installed on your hard drive, or if hard drives are too expensive, then yeah, you just click on the game and you stream it from whatever server and you pay the monthly fee, kind of like a Netflix or Hulu. Like I imagine that's very much like the direction that we're heading in for all of this, and it definitely sucks. One thing that I will miss, because I think there was just something, and this might play in the nostalgia thing. There's something so nostalgic about when you were a kid growing up and you got to go and buy a game, and you bought that game and your parents were driving you home and you were looking at the game case in the car and you were reading it and opening it up and reading the instruction manual. That like drive home between like buying the game and going home to actually play it, there's just something like magical about it, with like the anticipation of and that's something that I think is linked to like having like the physical game and disc like in your hand, that
Right.
I feel like we will be losing with physical media. Like same thing with like Christmas. My favorite Christmases were the Christmases that I like unwrapped a video game under under the Christmas tree, and then when we were done with Christmas opening presents, I got to go put it in my PlayStation or whatever and like play it. Like there's something so magical about that I want my kids to be able to experience if they love games the same way that I do. And now I feel like the opportunity to like give them that is like being taken away from them. And I don't know if that's just like a thing because
is it, Eric?
I'm a dad. I don't know. Like to me, it's less exciting. Like watching the progress bar fill up on a download is like way less exciting to me than like fucking like unwrapping the game. Like that's just not as fun. Like there's just something so like magical about that. And like the whimsy and the magic of the world is like being sucked out for like short-term corporate profitization.
Our generation. Like, it's funny that you bring up the Christmas thing because a couple days ago I saw a TikTok that was just like nostalgia farming for like likes. Probably some of it was like AI because I don't know where the hell this person got like a whole bunch of random like analog videos of people opening Christmas presents in like the 90s. But anyway, there's this TikTok I was seeing, and it was just a bunch of random kids opening up unwrapping a video game at Christmas or whatever, just being excited and whatever. And it's got like this very melancholic piano music playing in the background, of course, and just again nostalgia farming. And for like a second, I was just like, yeah, man, like, fuck yeah, that was cool. And then like the caption on the TikTok was like, "We're never gonna get this back again," and I'm like, well, no, we're 50 years old. Like,
yeah,
we're buying stuff like for our kids, and it's like our kids, or not even our kids, but like for a different generation, like just getting a game card is like the same thing, you know, or just getting any type of, or like even just a console, or even a peripheral or whatever, like another controller or something. It's different for them. That's what I mean. Like, your kids aren't going to know what a physical game is.
They're
like,
probably not going to.
It's going to be different for them. So again, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I feel like it's a lot of like, what'd you call it? Whatever. Just a lot.
Unk slop.
Well, not unk slop, but like
unk energy. Just
like unk energy being imprinted on a younger generation that doesn't give a shit about us, you know? So, that's what I mean. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. Is it like, will your kids miss it? They don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, they don't. They're not gonna understand that. And I think I have a really good example of that is like I've obviously told you about my oldest son Cam, and his obsession recently is Cars, the Pixar movie, and I told you about. Yeah, we won't go into like the deep like lore rabbit hole I went down, or like all the stuff I have to think about in order to watch Cars for the 70 millionth time. But Cars, we have Disney Plus, and Cars is available on Disney Plus. He went to grandma's house the other day and he wanted to watch Cars, and I like had to explain to him, no, buddy, grandma doesn't have Disney Plus. She doesn't have Cars. And I was like, holy shit, like if it was a DVD, like I could have just brought the DVD with and we could have watched Cars. But yeah, they're kind of coming to a world where that's just not the reality. And I hope that we aren't losing some of that magic and whimsy by making everything like that convenient and accessible, because it really does. It feels just like the magical, just the wonder of the world is just being like drained out of it. I just for profit, and I feel bad. But it's ultimately where it's headed. I remember I read an article today where they were interviewing a business analyst, and he said that GTA 6 was going to be the last great video game ever made.
What does that mean?
And he explains it's like it costs so much money to make that no one will ever make a video game at this scale ever again. And by the time somebody does, AI is going to be making video games for us. So at the way the industry is going, guys, wrap it all up after GTA 6. Buy that game, fucking enjoy it. You don't have to buy another one after that because it's the last great video game ever made. Just go back and play the things that you love and enjoy. Catch up on that backlog. Like, there's no sense buying anything. According to these industry people, There's no sense in buying anything after that. If that's going to be the last great game, I couldn't like that stupid motherfucker said. I couldn't believe
Who
those words
said
came
that?
out of his mouth.
Some analyst?
It was some analyst guy, yeah, like the analysts that watch the industry and like do all the forecasting and stuff. He's like, this will be the last great video game, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That sounds ominous.
Yeah, it does, and it very well might be if it's so successful that nobody can ever like live up to it or whatever. Everyone thinks that we have to make $2 billion video games now. Like it's just not going to be realistic. And there aren't a lot of there's just not a lot of solutions for like these things that are happening. And I know we have a lot of wonderful people in our community that are champions of the indie video game scene. Going indie isn't necessarily like a slam dunk either. It's not like a given thing, right? Because in we see all these like indie successes and we're like, oh yeah, like see, like this proves that like the AAA industry is like coming down and like they can't compete. And look, like this game they made for like a nickel and like his mom's basement like made like $70 billion or whatever. Like those successes are like few and far between. For like every successful indie game that comes out, there's like thousands that get no recognition. And the ability to make an indie game today, to me, just seems like such a terrifying prospect to like go and do that, because like it's years of developing your game, like sometimes by yourself, and in the meantime it's like you still have to have a job and provide yourself with money and provide yourself with healthcare. So it's not just like, oh yeah, everyone that gets fired or like in the video game industry can just go indie. It's like that's not a realistic proposition. It just isn't. It's not a solution because
it takes a lot of money.
Yeah, and you have to make money for yourself and your family, and you need health care, which if anybody outside the United States is listening, like that's something that is of concern for everybody that has employment, is like because our healthcare is so fucking expensive. So for every like Hollow Knight and for every like Hades and every Supergiant that can like sustain this indie success, like that's not the norm. That's like a gamble of long odds. That's like a lottery ticket win when you do that. Not everyone can be the guy who made Stardew Valley and his girlfriend supported him for 5 years while he made it by himself. Like that's just, it's not a thing. It's not realistic. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, man.
No,
we've rambled on long enough, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple other things that I could touch on, but I feel like I've definitely gone over my time, but I probably would do that. I just hope that, like you said, we're not here to really solve the problem. Like whether
this is more like a group therapy session.
Yeah, it's going to happen no matter what, just brace yourself. I just hoped that, in doing this, we could kind of broaden the perspective, like I said at the beginning of the show, like, because the discussion has just been so narrow that I've seen on like
at least be
Discord
realistic about
at
least be realistic about what is happening.
It's been so reaction. Who would know? Who would have thought the internet would overreact to something?
Not me.
But I mean, it is.
I
mean, it sucks. Like I said, it sucks. It's very bad for business, no matter what. But also, the gaming industry is just bad anyway. For a lot of other reasons. So it's like, yeah, man. I don't know. Change is coming, and the games will be around. You will be able to play them. I won't tell you what websites to go to, but you will be able to play them still.
We will not legally tell you that you should just go and emulate everything, but we certainly aren't watching you, so go and do that. Yeah, I guess I'll close on this. I mean, we talk about a lot of negative things, and I think just in general, the internet and the algorithms of all that stuff are more primed to reward negative conversations because people are emotionally attached to them, and that's what drives engagement. And yeah, we don't really have a solution. I'm sitting here telling you that all these things that people say are like not solutions. It's like voting with your wallet. People do vote with your wallet, and they vote in the ways that are opposite of you. So you're outnumbered, and that everybody just leaving the video game industry to go make indie games is also not like not an option, because it just isn't. I do know that things in the industry specifically, we didn't really talk about layoffs and stuff like that. Stuff's got to change, because it seems unsustainable that people have jobs and they're making a game for like 4 or 5 years and they're starting families and starting their lives, and then at the end of the project everyone's just like, all right, we're firing everybody. That doesn't seem like a sustainable employment model. How long before people are just like, all right, fuck it, we're not making games anymore? And if you don't have people to make games, then games don't get made. So
I hope everybody's enjoying the new Assassin's Creed.
yeah, right. Black Flag Resync came out, and then like the Barcelona studio that helped make it is like, they were just like, yeah, we know you just put this game out and it's like the most successful Assassin's Creed thing that we've put out in 10 years, but you're all fired at the end of the month. What the fuck? You're gonna fire the people that just made the most successful thing the last decade of your company? What are we doing? Like, what are we thinking about here? But there's not easy solutions to these problems because they're complicated. Like, let's not pretend that these are like easy, just like, oh, I'll just turn off my PlayStation forever and things will get better. Like, that's not the real world. That's not the world we live in. What I will say is, to like close out my closing thoughts on all of this, is that don't let the negative news like beat you down. Still find a way to play the games that you love, enjoy the things that you love, talk about the things that you love. Continue to, if you're a content maker, podcaster, whatever, continue to make stuff around the things that you love, because that's the only way that we have positive conversation around this thing that we love, to like even combat the tidal wave of negative stuff that comes around. And however you do that is none of my business. If you decide to, I won't advocate for this stuff because I don't want this to show up legally on anything, but if you decide to emulate, you decide to pirate, that's on you, man. That's what you need to do to get your stuff done. Hey, I'm not the moral police. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Life is shitty enough. You got to find a way to get through it at the end of the day and be okay with everything that is happening around you. So don't stop playing the things you love. Don't stop doing the things you love. Don't stop talking about the things you love with the people that you care about. That's really important. Positive message to end this, I guess.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You know, there's so many other things that you can do and enjoy and fill your life with. Like, don't get so concerned or upset or angry about something that you can't control. It's going to happen. So, do whatever else that makes you happy, or keep doing what makes you happy, because you can't do anything about this. So,
yeah,
there's so much. Yeah, there's just so many other things that you can do to make yourself just ignore what's happening.
And if
that is turning off your PlayStation or whatever, never going back, cool. So
I don't want you to have to deprive yourself of the things that you love to enact change. I feel like asking that of people is sucky, considering how sucky everything is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and when there are opportunities, if there are opportunities to speak out and make videos or make content about things that are happening and speak out, and you can enact change and make things better, then obviously take those opportunities. Because we're sitting on here telling you that, yeah, things seem really bad and we're not really sure what we can do. I mean, speaking up is at least something. Exercise your First Amendment right. Just at the same time, try to be realistic about it, and don't make the thing that gets me the most is like, it's the hypocrisy of the claims, like we talked about. It's like, don't sit here and talk everything if you're not going to back it up in a month when Grand Theft Auto comes out. Just like, that's not helpful, because that's just showing the people that you're trying to get to change that you aren't serious about it. So,
right.
It's like, I don't know where to find the middle ground there, because I feel like I'm telling people, enjoy what you love, but also like, don't give up the things that you love, but also speak out against things, or also try to do things to enact change. Like, there's a middle ground somewhere that I don't really know how to articulate, but
I may as well just say it. I may as well just say it and be like, it's just video games. Like, it's one of those, it's one of the things that I mentioned earlier. Like, some people just, that is their personality. And it's like, it's just video games. It's just video games. Physical games are not going to end your life. The lack of physical games is not going to end your life. Go spend time with your kids. Go talk to your significant other. Spend your time with parents. Go take a hike, Go on a bluff and see a fucking beautiful view. a
Keith
vista,
saying
if
go
you
outside and
will.
touch grass on a video
Go
game
touch
podcast.
grass, motherfucker. It's just video games, dude. Like, you can't do anything about it. You just
Go touch
you
the
can't.
grass while you can until you have to subscribe to Grass Plus to be able to touch it.
I do feel like every time I walk out of my door, I'm automatically spending $100. So
Yeah, it's just somebody made the joke about how they can't wait till their like pliers have a subscription service and like you're in the middle of working. It's like, sorry, you've used your number of pliers for the month. Like, please subscribe to Pliers Plus to have unlimited access to your tools.
my favorite one is the subscription to your toilet.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like, sorry, you've used that the subscriber number of shits that you've had at the tier you're subscribed to. Like, please subscribe to Toilet Unlimited.
What do you mean update by payment method?
Yeah, right. What do you mean I have to connect my toilet to Wi-Fi and I can't poop until it updates? Like, I gotta go now, man. Like, what are we doing? Oh, dude, we joke, but I wouldn't put it past them.
No,
like all my appliances can be on Wi-Fi for some reason. Why does my fridge need to be on Wi-Fi? I don't know.
The future is a hellscape.
It might be. But yeah, no, just try. Like I said, we're negative. We're not negative, but we're trying to be realistic about what's going on, but also just keep doing the things you love and enjoy. Because the only way 100%. That they really win is if they like extract money from you and just make you as miserable as possible. So try to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you got anything else?
No. I was I thought you were going to transition into an outro or something.
No, I don't really have a planned outro. My outro was just love the stuff you love and be cool and be happy and try and enjoy life. Keith, I know you're kind of I dragged you out of retirement like Michael Jordan on the Wizards. But I'm not saying you're washed. I'm sorry. That was rude. But do you have anything that you'd like to like promote or
no
anything up? Okay. Anything where the people can
go listen to the backlog of the MainQuest podcast.
Yeah, do that.
This was, I'm glad I got to talk to you about this. I was planning on doing maybe like a 10-minute episode and just randomly throwing it on my podcast feed, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's Keith doing? What's going on? What is this?" But I don't know. So I'm glad that you and I could discuss this, because I do feel like, as somebody who's grown up with video games, like I said, for however long, it's kind of important to me in a way. So
yeah.
I really did want to talk about it, and I appreciate you exhuming my grave and having me on like it's a weekend at Bernie's. But backlog of MainQuest episodes. There's like, I don't know, like 300 episodes or something. The Patreon is also free. There's a ton of stuff over on the Patreon too. And the Discord community is still active. We're watching video game movies every Sunday. So come on over there and check that out. That's in the link tree. Linktr. Oh God, I don't even remember anymore. It'll probably be in the show notes.
I'll find it. Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes for everybody. But
appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you, Eric.
You do a better job of you don't even really have an active show, and you do a better job of keeping your Discord active than I do mine. I'm not going to tell you to join my Discord because it's just show updates at this point. I just update everybody when I put something out. But Unlockables still going, still trucking away over here. Just not as consistent as it used to be. Not that it was ever all that consistent, but I still put stuff out every once in a while. It's more written stuff. It's more focused stuff. It's really just more of like whatever I feel inspired to do at the time. There's no rhyme or reason or plan. Kind of like this. So
your YouTube channel is popping though.
Yeah, so I have the YouTube channel that I'm doing more like scripted video essays on, and I know I'm like 8 years too late for like the scripted like video essay train, but I just felt like that was just a way I could like work on content longer over time. I'm looking, I think there's a spider like coming down from my ceiling. I keep seeing it in the camera and it's kind of freaking me out. Sorry. But go over to the YouTube channel. All that stuff is in linktr.ee /Unlockables podcast. YouTube's kind of like my main focus on stuff right now. I will keep putting stuff out in audio format on the podcast. Just won't be the same as the video stuff just because People still like the audio only stuff, so I'll keep trying to put stuff out like that. A lot of people have been discovering and rediscovering the Kingdom Hearts series. That's been really cool, and I've had some people reach out to me on that. That's still going strong. So yeah, I should have some new videos. I think I'll have another one in August and another one in September if I can maintain the kind of track that I'm on. So yeah, go check that stuff out. Trying to add a positive conversation around video games. But my essays are a little bit shorter. I'm not in the like 7-hour essay like camp. I'm just not. I'm not that person. I don't know how people can even write video essays that long. Like, what the hell do I have to say over 7 hours that I can't say in 30 minutes? Like, so
I'm pretty sure
yeah.
you could talk about Kingdom Hearts for 7 hours. I mean, you have.
Not straight. Yeah, it has to be
Not
broken
consecutive.
up.
Well, listen, those people aren't sitting there for 7 hours talking. It is definitely done in edits, sir.
Yeah, maybe I'll do one of those like Gen Z like whiteboard videos of like Kingdom Hearts where I like just film myself with a microphone in front of the whiteboard and I would slap a bunch of like words, proper nouns on there and like point to it. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I don't know.
I feel like
maybe
one of them right now, honestly. I mean, your listeners don't know, but I'm literally holding a microphone in my hand with a sock on it. So
yeah,
that's how far into retirement I am.
Maybe I'll be a little more technologically advanced than the Gen Z people. Maybe I'll do like a slideshow, like a PowerPoint presentation on it, and like point to my PowerPoint presentation instead of my whiteboard.
Jesus, what is it? A corporate boardroom now?
Yeah. Yes, we're gonna talk about how we synergize the lore between all of the Kingdom Hearts games. I don't know, but yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming on, Keith. This was cool. It was nice to catch up with you. We haven't podcasted together in a while. Usually we have an excuse every couple of months to get together and talk about stuff, but lately it's just that's not been the case.
No, yeah, it's nice. I really appreciate you having me on, and it was nice to be able to like actually get on the mic and just talk about video game stuff again.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
I've scratched that itch, and now I'm going back into my coffin like the Undertaker.
Right back into hibernation.
yeah, until the bell rings the next time. So
until the next fire is set by the video game industry, I will sleep.
At the rate we're going, that's probably tomorrow. So
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
But yeah, take it easy, everybody. Yell at us in the comments or wherever this is found, and we'll talk to you guys later.